Hey everyone, Ariel Adams here with aBlogtoWatch. Today I'm going to review a very interesting no longer made timepiece from a company called Blancarre. This is the Solid Black. There's a few other versions of this watch. They didn't really have a specific model name. The brand came and basically had one design and made a few different versions of it. It was started by a Swiss watch designer named Nicolas Mertenot, and he's a talented fellow who is right now, last I heard, a professor in Geneva of design, and he worked at brands including Omega and others doing watch design. And you do that for a number of years, and you have all your own ideas, and you want to come out with your own thing, and sometimes they're able to do that. So Blancarre was his brand, and maybe there'll be more in the future, but this was a very under the radar watch. They don't hear about too much. And this watch was acquired from the eBay store Sigma Time, who, as of review, has a few of these, and they were able to pick some up. And I thought it was great that people can enjoy these at a discount from the original price. And that's what happens sometimes when brands don't quite make it, despite the fact that they have really good products. And this was a watch that, again, I never spoke to Nicholas about it, but I understand watch design quite well. And this is an experimentation in square shapes. And if you really have to understand what they were trying to go for here, is a watch that doesn't have any circles, right? As few as possible. You're going to make some arguments. Well, there's a little circle here and there. Yes, there are things that are circular, but the idea is to have as many squares and angles as possible, but also have it be beautiful. Making a square watch is very hard to do, and that's why there's very few highly successful square watches on the market. The Santos and the Reverso. The Reverso is a rectangle, but there are just a small number of just really beautiful square watches, and I would consider this one to be a very strong contender for beauty. It's extremely modern. It's very architectural. This thing feels like it was supposed to be a building or something like that rather than a timepiece, and it is very, very clever in some of the things it does. It's also a very good watch. As you can see here, very low glare on the crystal, no reflective elements there in the dial. The case, which is a 37 millimeter wide square when measured by the bezel, it's about 40 millimeters if you take these flanks into consideration. This has a polished black ceramic square bezel. There's actually a matte version as well. Titanium case here that's black coated. You can see these interesting vertical lines here, which just do an amazing thing visually for the shape. The movement is interesting. This is a Swiss made movement there. You can see here, even the case back has to not be round there. But the movement is a base Swiss-made ETA, I believe, with a module on top, and this module offers 2 time zones and a big date. It's not a new movement. It's not very common to see them. Again, I think it just provided the designer with a very interesting visual opportunity there. And so what you have here is you have 2 12-hour dials. Of course, the sub-dial as well as the hour markers are square. It's actually very difficult to see the smaller hands there, but again, it's part of the design, and that's fine. If you really need 2 time zones, it's probably isn't the top choice, but it's a fun movement that is not the boring 3-hand. I think that's really what they were going for, and the big date offers more visual opportunities. So the way the movement works is kind of strange. You can advance it one direction and both hands move, but then you advance it the other direction and only one of the hands moves. So the smaller dial, you sort of adjust with these moving forward and backwards. It's not the most elegant thing in the world, but it's doable, and it's good if you sort of want to have 2 time zones that you don't have to adjust the difference between them on a regular basis. As I said, the watch is 37 millimeters wide. I'm going to put it on in a second here. It's about 50 meters water resistance, which is quite good. And the rubber strap not only is, of course, custom and bespoke for here and has more of these rectangular elements that go with the theme, it's actually not too thick, which I think is a danger. You oftentimes have watches that I guess the strap is too thick and just it looks bad. But again, being that the designer of this watch knew exactly what he was doing, it makes sense that really all the details were thought of. I think it's very pretty on the wrist. It's interesting. It's a wonderful statement piece. Very comfortable. I think that's what amazed me. For a watch that looks as sharp as this is, it's not sharp. I mean, if you touch these edges here, yeah, I guess it's a little sharp, but it's very comfortable. It wraps around your wrist. And I'm someone that wants my wristwatch to be comfortable. That's a big deal for me. I will not wear watches that are not comfortable, and this one scores very high on comfort as well as legibility. So it's a good watch. It's a very good what we'll call design discussion. If you're sort of a design nerd, there's just a lot of stuff to like around here from in terms of the shapes, the finishings, and the materials. And it's a cool watch. So between the DLC coated titanium and the ceramic bezel and the cool mechanical movement, this is really neat from both an horological and a design perspective, and sort of a modern cool object perspective. The original price for this solid black version was 5,700 Swiss francs. It was less on the Sigma Time store, which is where I recommend you go. Actually, a pretty cool store on eBay to see more of this Blancarre and others. And you can read the full review on aBlogtoWatch. Thanks so much.